Hi, I'm Neil with Revit Auto, and today on Tool Tuesday, we will be reviewing this Zurich ZR13 OBD2 scan tool. If you do automotive diagnostic work and don't want to spend thousands on a scan tool, this might be the tool for you. We put together a new service van recently and didn't want to, and honestly didn't really need to, spend $3,000 on another Autel scan tool. Whenever we need to do any programming with a JBox tool, or we need to do any in-depth diagnostic work, we will generally know in advance and can pack the Autel on board. For most diagnostic work, something like this Zurich tool is much easier to carry and is equipped with most diagnostic features. The only handy feature that I found was missing from the tool that Autel tools have is the active test function. However, most scan tools don't have this feature to begin with, especially in this price range. The reason we picked this tool over other tools is that it has the ability to access SRS and ABS modules, as well as some OEM enhanced features including codes that may not show up in the OBD2 protocol standard. Once the batteries were installed, startup was quick and the tool was ready to scan for codes. First up is a 1998 Ford E250, which has an airbag light on the dash, but no other check engine lights. As soon as I plugged in the tool, it began scanning for standard OBD2 codes automatically, which is pretty cool. It also did this much faster than our larger scan tools. Unfortunately, this vehicle's SRS module is either not accessible from the OBD2 port, or the scan tool is not compatible with SRS modules from the early days of OBD2. I was still able to access a number of other things on this vehicle, including live data. Next up was a 2004 Ford F-150, which also happens to have an airbag light. After selecting the SRS module from the menu, I was able to successfully read this vehicle's SRS codes. A low voltage code, likely caused from a dead battery back in early winter, and a passenger airbag warning light failure. I tested the erase function and was able to successfully erase the low voltage code, but since the passenger airbag warning light is still out, that code came back during a second scan. I was also able to use the Ford OEM Enhanced mode to run a key-on engine running test, which automatically idles up the engine for a little bit and runs an onboard diagnostic test, which is something that is usually only found on higher-end tools. The test returned an oil temperature sensor code, which won't show up during a standard OBD2 scan, and as a result, didn't cause a check engine light. Next, I tried scanning this 2012 F-150, and here's where the tool gets even cooler. It has a flashlight built into the OBD2 connector. When you don't know which way the connector is facing, or if it's tucked further away into a corner, this feature is incredibly convenient, especially at night. When scanning the ABS module, I was able to pick up a code, and I was also able to pull up live data using OBD2 mode. I also tried the built-in Alternator test. This test doesn't appear to be vehicle specific, as it shows up in the menu when in OBD2 mode on any vehicle. However, the charging system operation and charging voltages are pretty much the same across all Alternator equipped vehicles, so this test should work on most, if not all, OBD2 equipped vehicles to date. On a 2007 BMW 7 Series, I was able to read OEM codes that didn't show up in OBD2 mode, and I was able to read codes from the SRS module. However, I was not able to read codes from the ABS module. I was able to reset oil life through the tool itself. On a 2008 Suburban with a check engine light, the tool immediately picked up 3 codes for the evaporative emission system. This code correlates with the fact that the vehicle was intentionally topped off during Hurricane Irma relief efforts. You never want to top off the tank after the pump clicks off automatically, by the way. This can flood the evaporative emission system with liquid fuel and cause emissions issues. For the first evap code, the tool's embedded Fix Assist software actually offers suggestions on what problems to check for in order to resolve the problem. In addition to those suggestions, it automatically lists relevant live data right underneath the previous info. Code 2 and 3 offered less detail than the first code, but were more specific than the first code. Next, I tried the tool on a Mercedes S550 and a Ram CV, both of which returned no codes, but were able to communicate with both vehicles as it did on the other vehicles. During scanning, you may have noticed the smog status indicator LEDs, which can tell you if the vehicle is ready for emissions testing. If you recall, on the 1998 van, the smog status was yellow, and the screen displayed a flashing red EVA icon. Since the vehicle battery was removed recently, what was likely happening is that the vehicle has not finished running its onboard emissions readiness test. There could also be a problem with the emission system, but the PCM has not had enough time to find the exact problem and store a code. On the Suburban, the PCM was able to find a specific problem with the emissions and store the corresponding codes. Since these issues directly affect vehicle emissions, the vehicle will not pass emissions and is indicated with a red status LED. All other vehicles had no issues or had issues unrelated to vehicle emissions, which allowed for a green smog status light. I also tried running the tool without batteries, which was also possible. However, the tool has to be plugged into the OBD port before it can be powered on, and the flashlight feature won't work. With the batteries reinstalled, I was able to look at the codes and the vehicle details that were retrieved from the last 3 vehicles, right from the comfort of my desk, which is convenient if you didn't have access to the internet during diagnostic. Other features include a built-in code library that allows manual code lookup for a number of vehicles, and a library for OBD port locations. The tool also has a USB port, which I assume can be used to update the vehicle database as new models come out. Overall, this tool offers a great combination of user-friendliness, versatility, and value, and I would recommend it to anyone who needs a scan tool for common diagnostic work. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to share and subscribe for more videos.